Agendas.
Okay, it's good.
They don't have the agenda.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. You like?
All this being ordered, we do have a quorum. You describe. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
Look for a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Motion passes. I'll take us to patron comment. All right. I would look for a motion. I'll take you to the position board. Look for a motion to approve the acceptance of the results April 7th, 2026 election. Judy Taylor, Lance Pollard, and several winners of the 3 open seats on the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second. We'll do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes.
Dr. Sims,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Pollard.
Yes.
And I am again. Right. Now take you to the oath of office. Right on me. I didn't get, just right off.
We repeat. Yes, we're gonna all say it together. Okay, so we raise your right hand.
Yeah, once you guys go together out there.
Oh.
We'll pull them off.
Wait for the papers away before the photo on.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll take a picture afterwards.
It doesn't matter, it just was a little bit too much for. Okay. Please raise your right hand. I,
Sarah Schwartz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of school director
discharge the duties of school director
in and for the Green Valley R5 School District
in and for the Green Valley R5 School District
of Jackson County, State of Missouri,
of Jackson County, State of Missouri,
to the best of my ability according to the law.
to the best of my ability according to law.
Let's we'll do a group picture of the 3 of you. Here? Yep.
Okay.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Congratulations.
I make a motion to suspend the term limits of officer provision in policy PCA1, this board organizational meeting.
A motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, open for discussion.
So my thought with suspending this policy is not that I oppose the policy per se, but because we are in a unique situation with a being absent, proved absence, or see serving for us, I felt like that situation being unique, it made sense for us to suspend this policy for now because there's no possible way for either Jeff or Julie to be able to receive unanimous vote for them to be able to continue in their position. So suspending gives everyone opportunity to then be considered for position on serving one of the roles. And so that was my reasoning behind this. Obviously, it may not be something that everybody agrees with or is behind. However, I just felt like that would make the most sense to suspend that. Then we could determine from there what roles, what positions we feel like everyone should perform. So that's the thought.
All right, anybody else have any comments or discussion? All right. So the motion on the floor is to suspend the term limit of officers provision in policy ECA 1 for this board organizational. We'll do a roll call vote for this as well. Mr. English?
I'm a no.
Shorten?
No.
Dr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Pollard?
No.
I'm also a no. So 5-1, that motion fails, so we will go to the election of the board officers, and that would turn it over to Dr. Levy as temporary chair.
Okay, very good. First up is the election of the president. We would open it up for nominations for president.
I nominate Jeremy Bush.
Jared English has been nominated for president. Are there any other nominations for president? Last call for president. With that, I would entertain a motion to, well, let's just take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
Okay. And so one abstention, none opposed. Motion passes. Congratulations. Then we'll do the election of the vice president. And after that, I'll turn it over to the president to take it from there. Any nominations for vice president?
I nominate Sarah Schwartz.
Okay, Sarah Schwartz has been nominated for president. Any other nominations or for vice president? Any other nominations for vice president?
I nominate Jeff.
Jeff Porter has been nominated for vice president. Are there any other nominations for vice president? Okay. We are looking for a person that has a majority. So we need a majority vote. We'll do a roll call, and your options are Sarah or Jeff.
Are we going to do them individually?
Let's talk about it.
Roll call for one, roll call for the other. Is that
I was going to have you give me a name. I was going to have you to give me a name and see if
Okay.
and see who gets at least 4 votes. Is that appropriate? Appropriate process, and we can discuss the process before we do the vote. So this is perfectly appropriate.
And the question is, Sarah has had one term.
She is second consecutive term.
Okay.
So she wouldn't have to get 4 votes. She just needs to get
Whoever gets 4 votes.
Okay.
Sarah. So Sarah,
Sarah.
and you can't vote for yourself. Jeff.
you did last one?
I'm going to vote for Sarah.
Sarah?
Okay. Sarah Schwartz is vice president, so congratulations. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jared English.
We don't do secretary.
You do second.
Okay.
I get in and out as quickly as possible.
So I'll have to catch up here, but I nominate, I don't nominate. I will look for nominations for secretary.
I nominate Elizabeth Pollard.
Second round, any nominations for secretary? I have to do it 3 times. Any nominations for secretary? All right, we have one name, that's Lance Pollard. Do a roll call.
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jason? Lance?
Yes.
And I'm yes. All right, that brings us to appointment of treasurer. Look for a motion to approve Stephanie Graham as board treasurer.
So moved.
Second. So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Go ahead.
Let me explain who Stephanie is.
Yeah.
Because this will be a new treasurer for us. Our previous treasurer just recently retired. Stephanie also works in our administrative office and an assistant on the academic side. We've already had initial discussions with her to take this on. She's perfectly capable. She has the capacity to do the role. She's kind of excited about new responsibility. It is, being the treasurer is not a full-time gig, but when it hits, it's pretty busy at the moment. So that's why it's important that not only the individual is the right person to do it, but their supervisor also feels like that works out for that team. We also intentionally designate a treasurer who is not part of the finance team department in our office. And it's just another set of eyes, but a capable set of eyes, just to see from that perspective, from another perspective. And is there anything out of the ordinary about the checks that are being signed? So, and
I was just gonna ask for a brief overview of the duties, but that's
Yeah.
kind of.
yeah, everything gets signed by the treasurer. All the checks get signed by the treasurer, and so she'll put her eyes on all of our payments that we do. And sometimes there's little issues, or our last treasurer was just really good about, is there any question at all, she just asked. And 9 times out of 10, it's not a problem, but like we want somebody who is looking with scrutiny to make sure that there haven't been any mistakes in the checks that we're putting out. So, and she will be trained. She's been given a little bit of an orientation to the role, but she'll be trained and get started with the role. And then administratively, the superintendent will designate a backup. Backup is rarely needed, but once somebody is either on vacation or they're on sick when a check period comes. So,
Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Next, we'll appoint the board recording secretary. A motion to appoint April Platten as the board recording secretary.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Okay, we'll appoint the 2026 Board of Equalization members. So this one we do every year. I think it's a name that we're all familiar with. Entertain a motion to approve Tisha Homefield as the representative to the Board of Equalization.
So moved.
Second. I got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Any questions on the role?
yeah, with your approval, she will continue in the role.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve David Hackett as the alternate to the Board of Equalization. Mr. Hackett has done this for a very long time as well.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Appoint MSBA delegate and MSBA alternate delegate. This one's always fun.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Okay. So I think we do these separately. Motion, entertain a motion to name Lance as our MSBA delegate.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now we need an alternate. Any volunteers?
Now that I'm not secretary anymore.
All right.
Wait till you sign plus diplomas.
Shut me up. Entertain a motion. Let's see here, motion to name Dr. Julie Taylor as our alternate MSBA delegate.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Takes us to new business, board scholarships. Entertain a motion to approve the list of scholarship awards as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
We had a committee of 3 that reviewed all the applicants. There were a lot this year. So if anybody on the committee wants to speak to the process or the list.
As always, Green Valley shows up and shows out with the scholarships in which they write for this particular one. And just looking at the funds and ensuring that there is a legacy for future graduates. It was about a 3-hour conversation. It was tough, but every one of them deserves something. We wish we had the opportunity to give them that. However, the ones that we picked, we felt were the best to represent GV.
How many did we have? How many applicants did we have total?
37? 30, yeah.
And we did 8. And that's up or down from last year?
It's down from last year. So there are $1,000 scholarships, and we took in a little over $8,000 in new advertising revenue for this fund this year. And so I assume that's why the team picked that. We had been kind of burning down our balances a little bit. And so at some point we were going to need to just allocate what we bring in. So I think that's why we landed at the 8.
Yeah, we tried to keep the remaining balance this year similar to where it ended up last year. So kind of the reason behind the decrease a little bit.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Salary schedules. This is just for information and discussion.
Yes, and we do not expect to be recommending any addition to the base this year. We'll have budget discussion. We'll do preliminary budget discussion next week. I do want to give Dr. Gooch an opportunity to talk about one column change on the salary schedule. I know it's in the non-certified page. It's the 5th page total. Thank you, 5th page overall. So it's the page that has the building admin assistant on the far left. So Dr. Gooch, can you tell us about the additional?
Sure. So within the Human Resources Department, we have a retiree and we have an individual in there who works in the HR department. We'd like to slightly modify her roles and responsibilities. And so this individual already does our core data for us. However, in addition to that, we would change their requirement and responsibilities to give them some more human resources data as well. More of the coordination of contracts and stuff like that. So with additional responsibility, my request is to move that individual to a different column. Currently, they are on the finance column, the one that's to the left. And so putting them in their own column at this point. And then the new hire that that's replacing the retiree will actually go from the finance column and go down to the 12-month admin assistant, and we're going to modify their responsibilities to more of an administrative assistant role. And so, taking one position, giving more to one, less to the other, Because of this, with the retirement and a new individual, it's actually financially for the district, it's a wash. And so giving more responsibility, thought we'd give them just a little bit more pay, giving the other person standard administrative assistant responsibilities, and put them in line with the remaining 12-month administrative assistants across the district. And so it just kind of fits perfectly there. And so that's the request.
And this whole list comes back next week for your approval. And if by some miracle that we don't even anticipate or foresee, we need to come back and add, we decide to come back to the base, we would just bring it back again. But we just, for our financial outlook for next year, we expect this to be the same salary schedule. So no action tonight, just giving you a chance to put eyes on it tonight.
Insurance rates for 26, 27.
Dr. Davis, can you highlight whatever changes we have in store for benefits?
Sure. So the biggest highlights, I'll do the really, really easy one first. There is a slight change in dental based off the recommendations from our insurance group. We are paired with Smithville School District as far as the 2 school districts in the SIP GKC who partner together to do dental. Other districts kind of shop their own. The slight recommendation is to raise the dental rates. It's their 100% employee pay, and the slight increase is 5%. And so if you take the dental insurance, the 5% equates to $1.30. It's trivial. However, when you multiply that out times the people, times the months, it actually helps us kind of rebound from not a heavy month or heavy year with dental, but a heavier than normal year with dental. And so this is just based off of recommendations. Smithville is actually, that we were both given the same recommendation. I took the recommendation of 5%, and the other school district did quite a bit higher. So I just thought that if this was the request, it's very minimal. Again, $1.30 per month is pretty trivial. So that would be the slight change there. The other one is we're all very familiar with the school district having carried in the budget a supplemental amount of money for the supplemental payments whenever we have heavy months where we have high claims, we've had to pay supplemental payments. This past school year, we carried $900,000. We have utilized, of that $900,000, we utilized $600,000 of it, and that is, those payments were very early in the school year. When we started the 25-26 school year, we had a deficit within our health insurance of about a little over $800,000. We've made 2 supplemental payments, and we have had 5 consecutive months of, I don't want to call it profit because it's our own money, but we've carried over some additional funding. What we contribute every month has been more than our claims. And so we've actually completely eliminated our $830,000 debt by 2 supplemental payments and 5 consecutive months of good months. And so we are now in the black. And so it would be my recommendation to take that $900,000 that we've had in our budget and just slightly shrink that to $700,000 and take that $200,000 and contribute that to the per employee per month board contribution. And so go from $800 per employee per month to $830 per employee per month. Again, our based off of recommendations, there's always, health insurance, there's always recommendations to raise it. As a self-insured group, we can raise it whatever we want. So I am just, this is an opportunity for us to contribute more per employee per month, but actually not really have any new additional expense to the school district. It's just taking a little bit of money out of one bucket, putting it in a different bucket, and then move forward with a higher monthly contribution per employee per month. So that's my recommendation, and we're going to hope that we continue to have positive months. it's been a good year for us actually. So I'm very grateful for that. So those are the two big changes. As far as anything else, employee contributions for their spouse or for their children, families, things like that, no other changes. Recommending no other changes for the next school year. And of course, this is always under evaluation every year. But those are the recommendations for me for this next school year.
For information this week and next week, it would be an action item.
So our claims trend over the last 5 years has been up or down?
It's been up.
So are you expecting, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Are
Yeah.
you expecting that to really change? Because I consider this more of a fluke than.
So when you say our claims are up,
Well, all of our claims, expense, everything is up.
but our budget is gonna stay
The overall,
pretty
so,
flat.
yeah, when you look at our total expenses for EPM per employee per month, and then all the additional overages, that has been flat for 4 straight years.
Next year, the fourth year.
Yeah, so relatively close, but the amount of supplemental payments has actually gone down for us. 2 years ago, we made 1.2 million in supplemental, or 1.9, excuse me. And then it was less than that the following year, and of course, this year's is a lot less as well. So we're not getting hit by those really large claims like we are, but our overall number of claims is higher, yes. But the pool itself is trying to do other things to steer, even though there's a higher number of claims, steer claims in a cheaper direction for, specific pathways for different, specific doctors. Like we have partnerships now with MSK doctors that provide a cheaper service for us, more aggressive in the pharmacy, stuff like that. So, I don't know if that answered your question, but we're seeing more claims, but the number, like the total dollar amount for us, this would be the 4th year that it's been relatively flat. Okay. It seems like it hasn't been because we've had to make those payments, those supplemental payments, which are not fun. I'd really like to not have to do those, but they have been budgeted, and I like the trend that we've had. I will say that Green Valley has also, we have performed kind of different than some of the other school districts, the majority of the other school districts in the pool, where we've had kind of a lopsided flip where everybody kind of has flat years, and you have really good years and you have really poor years. We just happen to have some pretty poor years supplemental wise in a row. And so my hopes is that we're actually on the trend the other direction like we were 4+ years ago.
Okay.
So a couple months ago, we had locked it in. They had a whole bunch of recommendations, and they were going to be taken to the meeting. Does that meeting happen?
Yeah, so I've started, yes, it has. So I have had actually 2 of them. One of them was today, but there wasn't a lot of discussion about that. The big one was, I had a meeting last month about it, and I brought forward, I'm trying to determine, I've had a lot of discussions with the chair of the CIPGKC group, and I've actually given him the response from Locked-In so he can see what they recommended for us. And I'm not just throwing all, like, here's all Locked-In recommendations. I'm doing them, kind of strategically. I have had, the first one that I have brought up was my request, my desire to have a better shopping of stop loss and pharmacy. Stop loss is actually being shopped right now. And as of right now, pharmacy has come back, and it was favorable for us as well. So my requests have been made public, and there are still a couple that I haven't shared with the group just because they specifically are about the administration of the pool, and that's a little bit challenging to do at those meetings with the administrator present. And so that's where I've had some conversations with the chair. We're looking to try to figure out ways to have those discussions in the future.
Dr. Gucci, keep documenting progress.
Absolutely, you bet. Yeah, you bet. I absolutely can. I will say that the stop loss shopping, I'm hoping it's good. I will say that he shopped out way more than he has in the past. This year, he's shopped out over a dozen carriers, which has not been historically how many have been shopped out. So that's good.
So I guess my only concern is that in my mind right now, the biggest threat to this district is the budget. We just are seeing the money come in that we saw in years past. And so I trust your judgment on the medical component of this. But in years past, I always feel like somehow we found a way to make it work because money would just, I don't want to say appear, but we would have a better assessment or something like that would occur. And I just don't know that that's going to continue to happen. So I just want to make sure that we're being very careful on shifting money from one place to another, because unlike years in the past, I'm afraid in the next few years, there may not be that luck that we've had where you just get the money. So
Dr. Gooch, I'm going to piggyback on that before you respond. You mentioned that at the start of this school year, we had a balance, or we had a debt of $800,000 that is now cleared. What was that debt balance 3 to 4 years ago? You remember? I mean, it's bigger than 800,000.
Off the top of my head, no. I would say that,
Because that's an important trend that's behind the numbers.
yeah,
And, we don't have to keep a zero balance at all times. So if we do have one of those catastrophic years, we can take a few years to eat it back, which is what we've done over the last 3 years. I didn't even put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
I know it was a lot worse than
yeah, and we've been over $1 million. We have been over $1 million in that before. The nice part about this is we're back to in the black completely. I will say I am completely in agreement that financially over the next couple of years it's going to be very challenging. I will say that's why the recommendation that I'm bringing is it's good practice for us to contribute more per employee per month, but the way I'm doing this is just simply the way I've seen almost a year's trend now where we haven't had to make big stop loss hits. Our supplemental payments are down. I would like to contribute more per employee per month instead of trying to bring that forward and say, we just need a budget for that. Let's take from this. It's really, it's a way for me to fund that without actually asking you for more money. Because I feel like it's just, it means we're going to take on more potential risk, if you will, if the supplemental fund goes from 900 to 700. But
We're also making bigger deposits every month.
yeah, so I'm hopeful that projection will work. I don't know what the next big stop loss plan could be. It could be just about anything.
Yeah.
But I will say that we've had a few years where it's been pretty rough. Prior to that, we had there since we've been in the pool for approximately 12 years, a big portion of the school district, including us up until the last 4, you have those flat years and you have spiked. And then you go back to being flat. Well, our spike just happened to last a little bit longer. I'm hoping now we're going to return back to the norm. And this next year will show that with with us reducing the supplemental amount from 900 to 700. 700 would still cover us this year. And if it wasn't for the very beginning, maybe the big $100,000 balance. I mean, if you think we've paid off $830,000 and we're actually in the black by about another $30,000. So of that $860,000 total, $260,000 of it is just our money. So, I mean, if we started at 0, then we'd be very much in the black at this point. And so, I don't know, this is just it's a way for us to fund it without actually having to say, let's take from our reserves in order to do something. It's a benefit for our staff. it's nice to be able to say we are contributing more per employee per month, which is beneficial. But this is, yes, there is the gamble of we take the risk.
Yeah, and I support what you're doing. My comment, I guess, is a little broader. I think that, again, budget is probably the biggest threat to this district. And we're gonna have to tighten the belt somewhere.
Absolutely.
We gotta figure out where.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at 81% of our entire budget is salaries and benefits as well, this is one of those deals. I mean, if we were to tighten that and say we're gonna actually have to contribute less per month, and we just have the ability, then we're taking a tremendous risk. So it's just balance your risk, and for this next year, this was my hopes. I will say, there's lots of other discussions within the 6 school districts that are in the pool of how to combat this as well. In the pool, there are a handful of school districts that are also in Jackson County who are in the same boat as us, who are going to have to figure out with the tax credits. And we're all clearly in the state of Missouri where there's tightening of the string of the belt there as well. So we're feeling it all together. I will say that in today's meeting that I had with the insurance group, all school districts in the pool, except with the exception of one, their benefit year is actually calendar year instead of ours is July to June. Theirs is actually January to December. So they already made their increase, but the other ones that are in the pool, every other school district is doing the exact same thing. They're making it an adjustment, and they're putting more per employee per month as well. And we're kind of right in there with some are higher, some are lower. We are kind of in the middle as far as size, and we're staying right there in the middle as far as our monthly contributions. So.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Non-certified staff list 26-27.
Yeah, just giving you a chance to put eyes on this. 2 things I want to point out. One, we did one revision to it today on the 2nd page near the bottom, reports Crystal Frederick. We highlighted in yellow the HR data coordinator that Dr. Duch pointed out was the one change on the salary schedule. We went ahead and made the change to the title for the individual on the staff list. That was not in your packet when this first came out, so that change was made today. So that way everything goes to connect. The other thing is this will be an action item next week. I'm aware of one relative of Jared's that's on the list. If anybody else is related by blood marriage to the 4th degree, just let me know. Or if you think you might be, we can help you map that out to see how far the 4th degree takes you. And the only reason that's important is that we would pull that name out, we vote on them separately so that you can abstain as a relative next week.
Any questions? Okay. Letter from the board.
So this is a draft highlight from the board for the spring magazine. We are very close to being ready to send the magazine to print. So just wanted you to kind of, these are a set of highlights from the year, but if there's anything on here that you feel like, I don't know that this is school board letter news, we can strike this one, or we'd like to replace it with a different topic that we want to celebrate or worry about. I will point out that as much as we love for the magazine to be a celebration, we also make reference to challenges in the letter, and it's pretty generic. I mean, we don't want to get political in the magazine, but there's enough possible financial bad things that can happen that being one of them actually gets across the finish line. It'll have a negative impact on our budget, and the ones that don't cross the finish line, they're all going to be back next legislative session. So it's not a one and done kind of scenario. And then we'll add the president's name on this. And if there are any changes, we'll get it submitted on the magazine. And we'll substitute out this little guy with your mugshot.
I like this little guy better. Stick with that. Any comments or questions?
Will that be an action item next week? You said
That one is not an action, that's
that's
just,
just info. Okay.
it's just information. So if anybody, or you have any edits or revisions or grammar, punctuation, you can hand those off to me too.
All right, Green Valley High School Senior Awards Night is May 8th at 6 p.m. Any,
Yeah, we'd want to know if we have one or more board members that would represent for the board scholarships that night.
I can do that.
anyone else commit right now, or can we get back to you next week?
Yeah, that'd be fine. And Lance, assuming, well, you'll be there, but it's just a matter if anybody else does, but I got my invite today that as a presenter, they invited us to come by early as 5:15.
On the 8th.
Yeah, the event starts.
Okay, the May board meeting is May 14th at 5 o'clock at the Leadership Center, and then we immediately hop in the car and go to
Yeah, that's 7
Sky
o'clock.
Valley.
Yep, 7 o'clock Sky Valley celebration. The May board meeting is likely when we will have LJ Hart here to authorize the bonds. We intend to have the architect come and kind of give us an update on the planning and design on all various projects. And we will do a program evaluation next year, program evaluation that night. So and we have some recognitions. But at this point, we have no executive session, but I shouldn't even say that out loud. But if we do, we might have to modify that 5 o'clock start time. But right now, we're good for 5 o'clock. That gives us a little over an hour to get the key business done, and we are gowns only that night unless you change it, and then you have the last minutes
They'll
there.
bring it up.
Our program evaluation for our activities normally is pretty in-depth, so is that appropriate time? Is that enough to be able to?
I was feeling like we did okay 2 years ago, but were we pushing that one?
No, they were.
Was there another reason for that, or was it that program about?
Well, the program about last time was athletics, and
There's a lot of good stuff to share. There's a lot of things that we added. There was.
It was a presentation side, so if we could abbreviate the presentation and give more time for Q&A. That's right. Because the time before that, it wasn't like that.
I think that the more content that we can put on paper,
Yeah.
the less questions we'll have to ask.
Yeah.
there's such thing that we need to reevaluate having a program eval.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could wish for that.
I can check to see that he's available to come to the June date when we can do, but that June workshop's that's a big budget presentation.
Because that's one of the things that like most directly impacts our families.
Right.
So I don't want it rushed. I enjoy the thoroughness. This is one of the biggest things
Yeah.
that our community sees. So I just really remember that it was.
Yeah,
really
it
rushed.
was a lot of information,
A
there was
lot
a lot
of
of,
information.
and there was a lot of
Good
questions.
information. So I don't want it.
Yeah, it's not that it was, we weren't unmarketed up around market, it was just that time.
We weren't issuing bonds the last time, and we weren't looking at designs,
Yeah,
so we probably need.
My thought would be to not do it that night.
I think we need a bit.
Yes, we have time. If it doesn't work out in June, I mean, if we need to do it first thing in the fall, we can do it. You can do it first thing in the fall. Sorry. Too soon. Okay.
So we'll make adjustments there.
Yeah, we'll make adjustments there.
Okay, so that's 7 and 8. That brings us to 9, the class of 26 commencement ceremony on May 18th at 7 p.m. at Cable Lock.
Yep.
And that is cap and gown.
Yeah. We haven't locked in, we haven't confirmed that we have the same room arrangement. That's what we'll try to do. We've been doing pizza and drinks the last couple of years, so unless we hear different from you, we'll keep doing that.
And we still have photos ahead of time this year?
We have a
Notification
new,
last year?
yeah, we have a new photographer, so we just need to make sure that we have that confirmed. How they did the.
Wonderful
Yeah.
change last year.
Instead of just walking down, taking a picture. and
And
being
big line.
When you said photos, I was thinking of us. Are you the
Oh,
photo?
no,
No,
Well, we did our, yeah, we did our photo
Before, yeah.
oh,
but we had, the kids took their photos prior to,
Yeah, I think that's great.
yeah, it was a great change.
so we would.
Motion to adjourn.
That's everything on the list. Got a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're done.
This